How to Take Pictures of Lacrosse, Revised 2026, July. What we'll cover: safety, gear and exposure, planning, where to shoot from, sample pictures, problems, and tips. Safety. Keep track of the ball. The lacrosse ball is small compared to a soccer ball. If you lose track of the ball, lower your camera and look for the ball. If a thrown lacrosse ball hits you, it will hurt. A thrown lacrosse ball can travel fast. You may have very little time to react. Distance is your friend. The longer the distance to you, the more time you have to react. For your first lacrosse games, I would stand as far from the field as you can. When I shot my first lacrosse game, I stood on the outside lane of the track, basically as far as I could get from the field and still be on the field floor. Do not go anywhere behind the goal. A thrown ball that misses the goal could hit you, and some refs will not allow you behind the end line. Gear and exposure. Day game. Camera. Most any camera you have. Lens. Depends on where you're shooting from. On the field, 18 to 140, 18 to 400, 70 to 300. From on top of the bleachers, 18 to 400, 100 to 400, or 150 to 600. Exposure. Mode S or TV, shutter priority, 1/1600 of a second shutter speed, ISO auto. Night games. Please see the video, how to take pictures at night games. Camera. Camera with a high ISO of 25,600 or more. Lens. 70 to 200, 2.8. Or 70 to 200 f4 if your stadium has enough light. Exposure. Mode S or TV, shutter priority, 1/1000th of a second, ISO auto. Or Mode M manual, 1/1000th of a second, aperture wide open, ISO auto. Shutter speed no lower than 1/500th of a second. Other gear. Monopod for the heavy lens. Exposure. Always test your exposure before the game and make any needed adjustments. The one time I did not test my exposure, I had one of the exposure settings messed up because it was set for the inside of the gym, so the color was off. So always test your exposure before the game so you can catch those mistakes. As the sun sets and the light changes, test the exposure again. Adjust if needed. Planning. Planning difference. Boys versus girls. Game times. Boys, you have 4 12-minute quarters. Girls, you have 2 25-minute halves. The other is the face-off. As seen in the pictures below. Bottom left, girls are standing. Bottom right, the boys have the ball down on the ground. There was recently a change in the field. The old field is the top left picture. The new field is the bottom right picture. The change is the location of the goal. The old field had separate locations for the boys and girls goal. The new field has a single location. Boys and girls goals are in the same place. So this screen is so you can see that you may have situations where they're using the old field or the new field. Goalie. Shoot the goalie during warm-up. It is much easier to shoot the goalie during warm-up than during the game with many players around and blocking your view of the goalie. Picture top right. During warm-up, you've got a clear view of him. During the game, there are a lot of people around him. The goalie is someplace behind there, but you can't see him. Next, you need to shoot the goalie in the first half. Some teams will change goalies at the half. If you didn't take a picture of the goalie in the first half, you don't have a picture of him. Sample shot plan. During warm-up, shoot the goalie and shoot as many of the team as you can. Offense and defense. Get pictures of the offense throwing the ball into the goal and defense protecting their goal. Others, try to get shots of as many of the players as you can. May not be easy, but you try as best as you can. Goalie, again, first half, because they may change the goalie at the half. Get the final score and the sportsmanship handshake. Where to shoot from? On the field, lighting, the sidelines for the game, midfield for the face-off. From the top of the bleachers, and see the video how to take pictures in the stadium. Lighting. Afternoon. Shoot with the sun to your back, not towards the sun. Watch out for afternoon glare from the sun off the visitors' bleachers on the east side of the field. Look at the picture on the top right. The sun is reflecting off the aluminum bleachers. The player on the field goes black because the camera is compensating for that bright bleacher. At night, near the goal line, there is often less light than in the center. Once the sun goes down, shooting from behind the goal line can put the faces in deep shadow, as in the picture on the bottom right. And look at the referee's back. His back is almost completely black. On our field, the light starts getting dim at about the 15-yard line, and it just gets darker as you head towards the goal line. On the field, lacrosse, like soccer, is an opportunistic sport. The action constantly moves up and down the field. You can't be running up and down the field following the ball, so you have to wait for the action to come to you. But that doesn't mean you're going to sit in that part of the field forever. You want to move to different parts of the field to get your offense and defense, and the left and right sides, and the face-off at the center of the field. Pictures later. On the field, this is a diagram. The diamonds at the 50-yard line indicate the face-off, but that doesn't mean you're going to be on the 50. You're going to have to move left or right based on how they position themselves, and you will have pictures to show you later. The orange is where I stayed during the afternoon, and the purple is at night when I don't have to deal with the sun coming in from the west. The red is the danger area. I do not recommend you staying over there only because you could get hit by a ball thrown in that direction. Here are a couple offense pictures from the side of the field. On the field, defense. At the top of this picture is a yellow diamond. That is where I will stay to get the defense pictures, about the 40 to 45-yard mark. The idea is from there, I can get face shots of the defensive players. Here are a couple defense pictures. Note on these pictures, you can see the faces. That is why we shoot from that particular position, so we can get the faces of the defenders. On the field, opposite the benches. Lacrosse, like soccer, has the benches on one side of the field. In our case, the benches are on the west side of the field. They're at the bottom of this picture. If I'm shooting from the west side of the field, there's a good chance I will have one or more of the players in my way as I walk from one side to the other. Therefore, when the sun goes down, I will often shift to the east side of the field, so when I'm shooting there, no one is in front of my big camera, and I'll have a clear shot at the game without having players running in front of me. and the top of the bleachers, as indicated by the red diamond at the bottom of this picture. From the top of the bleacher, this shot was taken with a 70 to 200 millimeter lens on an APS-C camera. Note the position they're on in the field. This is not the far side of the field or the far end of the field. Caution, my normal maximum range for the 70 to 200 millimeter lens is 50 yards. Most of the field is beyond 50 yards from the top of the bleachers. We'll cover this in a later video on shooting in the stadium. Sample pictures and challenges. The sample pictures will be using the sample shot plan. Warm-up, after equipment check, captain's meeting, face-off, offense and defense, others, and the goalie, final shot, score, and the sportsmanship handshake. The goalie. The lineup after equipment check. The captain's meeting. Face-off. As we mentioned earlier, the difference between girls and boys. The girls are standing and the boys are on the ground. Now, for the girls, to get the face, you need to watch how they stand. And you're going to have to move yourself left or right to get a view of their face. Not always easy. Boys, top left, that's the face-off. Tough to get the face because of how low their face is to the ground. Various other pictures of the boys. Bottom left, your pass. Pass can be tricky. You can see how small that ball is. But surprisingly, that ball can be visible depending on the background. The offense. Get a sequence, the goal, the celebration, and the score. Goal shots. There is a problem with a goal shot. If you look at all four of these pictures, you can't see the ball going into the goal. So you don't know if the shot actually made it into the goal or whether if it was a miss. Take a picture of the scoreboard afterwards. That way you have a record that particular shot scored the goal. And the defense. And the spectators. The final score. Sportsmanship handshake. Special note, it may seem obvious, but you need to be on the correct side of the field to have the players walking towards you so you can see their faces. It is of no use if they're walking away from you. Problems. Face-off. As we mentioned earlier, the difference between girls and boys. The girls are standing and the boys are on the ground. Now, for the girls, to get the face, you need to watch how they stand. And you're going to have to move yourself left or right to get a view of their face. Not always easy. Comparison pictures. The top two pictures and the bottom two pictures. They're the same girl on the top, same girl on the bottom. Notice how different they stand based on who they're playing and how the opponent is holding their stick. Especially the bottom one. It's the same girl, but you can see she's holding and standing differently. So you're going to have to move yourself around just to get the clearer shot of their face if you can. The other problem with the face-off. The face-off person may change during the game, either rotating between various face-off people in your team, just to give them experience, or rotating by the opponent. Sometimes the opponents will rotate through different people to throw off your face-off person. So as they change face-off people, your position may change. What was fine for one person may not be fine for the next. Especially if you end up with a righty changing to a lefty changing to a righty, or a complete different stance. Problems. Picture, top left. When you look at this picture, the first thing your eye looks at is the player in red, not your player in white. The eye will naturally look at bright colors, red, orange, bright purple. Anything that is bright will detract your eye. Therefore, this becomes a planning issue. If you're playing a team that their uniform color is red, maybe you don't want to take a picture of that game. What you want to do instead is maybe line up for teams that are not wearing bright colors. For instance, maybe the team is wearing green or blue or black. Then you won't have that distracting color to distract your eye. The other option is, for this particular team, this is a home game. Maybe what we should do is go to an away game where instead of wearing red, they are in white. You've now negated that red uniform problem. They're in white, you are in color. Problem 2, picture, top right. Remember what I said about the goalie? The goalie is someplace behind there. During the game, the goalie is often blocked from view by players in front of him. That is why we shoot the goalie during the warm-up, so at least we've got some good clear shots of the goalie. Problem 3, the ref. Picture bottom left. The ref will often get in the way of your picture. This is why you shoot a lot of pictures, so when you have pictures with the ref in the way, you can simply edit the picture out. Problem 4, distance. If you only have a 200 millimeter lens, my practical range is about 50 yards. This shot is about 60, maybe 65 yards. So this is just outside of my practical range. To get anything decent out of this, you're going to have to crop. And here's the issue. The deeper into the image you crop, the more difficult it is to retain good image quality. And the dimmer the light gets, the worse the image quality. Tips. Tip number 1, words of wisdom, light. If your team normally plays at night, if the team plays a day game, shoot it. It is so much easier to shoot when you have plenty of sunlight. If you do have to travel to an away game to get a day game, do it. Tips. Do not concentrate just on the stars. Be fair to the rest of the team. There are a lot of other players on the team, not just the stars. Defense is just as important as offense. And for yearbook, your problem is lacrosse is a spring sport. So it's the end of the school year practically. At that point, the stars may be on the banned list. What is the banned list? The banned list is a situation where you may have a specified count, let's say 5 pictures. And once the student has 5 pictures, they're on the ban list, and you can't add any more pictures. So if you've been shooting the stars, you may find that you can't use any of those pictures. You've got to look for pictures of other players. That is why you shoot a lot of the other players on the team, not just the stars. Shoot the players during warm-up. Some players may not play during the game. Warm-up may be your only chance to get pictures of those players. Tips: shoot the goalie during warm-up. During the game, that top picture may be what the goalie looks like most of the time, hidden behind the other players. Next, middle picture. Is that a goal? Or did he miss the score? After the goal is made, shoot the scoreboard. That documents the shot as a goal shot. Get the final score before they turn the scoreboard off. As soon as you hear the horn announcing the end of the game, turn to the scoreboard and take a picture of the scoreboard. Related subjects and other video lessons in the channel. How to take pictures in the stadium. How to take pictures of night games. What side of the field to shoot from. Afternoon games. Burst and continuous shooting. Tracking a moving subject. And senior presentation. The end. Thank you and good luck. And please like and subscribe.